We are in a sub-battle against Giants now this month for April. We have closed the gap. We are now down by about 43, 44, depending on what the updates are, subs between us and the Giants. Let's catch Marshy and put him in his place. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Let's pick up the news on DeMarvion Overshown. The former number 13, will now be wearing number 0 for the Dallas Cowboys. The first time that has been worn in franchise history. He truly gets to be the Agent Zero nickname he's had for a while now, which is great. It seemed overdue. Ratty doesn't need the 00. It's all silly anyway. Happy Overshown gets his number there. More importantly, beyond the number, there is an injury update on DeMarvion Overshown. Multiple different reports, all kind of coming out of his conversations with media from the reveal that he's wearing number 0 now. Multiple reports state that early November is currently the rough ballpark timeline for a DeMarvion Overshown return. Now, look, this is still a process. He comes back from, the term I use is shredded, ACL, MCL, PCL, I think it was the meniscus too. It was a bad knee injury for Overshown. So it is a process, and we will have to be patient. It is still too early to really identify, this week of the season in terms of when he could end up returning, which, make no mistake, stinks. It's not fun. Overshown was playing very well. He's a key part of your defense. You wanted him. I know this about Overshown as well. He is a hard worker. He has been through the rehab stuff before. He has the mentality you need to have to come back from this type of injury. And in the end, if he's able to get back in 2025 at all, I think that is a win. I think that is a positive thing for Overshown and for the Cowboys because that works out perfectly. That was a bad knee injury, after all. That was not good. It was a concerning knee injury. It's going to be a process, but promising reports on that front for Overshown. So what is your confidence level in Overshown's return? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. It is the pinned poll on today's video. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know what's your confidence level in the Overshown return. When he was healthy last year, he was playing super well. 90 tackles in 13 games. He had a great spy ability, was able to blitz, was consistently flying towards the football. Sometimes when dialing back like 10% just to not make it be as crazy as it sometimes can be and a little bit out of control, etc. But the physical talent, the skill set's all there. But that level of knee injury is a concern. There's no doubt about that. So it is an asterisk, I guess. They have options. They have Kenneth Murray. They have Maurice Leafau. They have Damone Clark for now. They have Jack Sanborn. Buddy Johnson was a good special teamer this past year for the Cowboys. But I would not be surprised at all if a draft pick was spent. Maybe it's not on day 2. They've got needs they want/need to address at corner and I think still defensive line and, of course, receiver and running back and all that. But a day 3 pick when they've got 7 day 3 selections, yeah, I think that's very much in the cards for the Cowboys. So in the end, the fingers are crossed that Agent Zero can get back, get healthy, and make a big impact at some point down the stretch in 2025. And then he gets a regular offseason finally to not have to focus on rehabbing and just focus on getting better. Today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time makes getting tickets for events even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Maybe you can go to a slightly more competent local sports team with the Rangers. But there's if you want to go to a Mavs game, I maybe wouldn't advise that necessarily, but that's, an option for you, I suppose. Download the Game Time app today. Create your account. Redeem code CHATSPORTS Chat Sports for $20 off your first purchase. Of note, terms do apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, that's Chat Sports, for $20 off. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Terms apply, but download the Game Time app today for last minute tickets. Lowest price, all guaranteed. Let's hit Micah Parsons next up here. Adam Schefter had the update on the Micah Parsons contract talks for the Dallas Cowboys. Here's what Schefter told the 105 through the fan crew. It certainly sounded like they, meaning Jones and Micah, were getting close to a deal, but the agent wasn't involved. And now the agent's going to be involved. That deal may get done sooner than Dax or CD's, and we'll see how it all works out. Now, that has actually been the crux of the issue the entire time, back when you first heard people say a deal was close. It's a, if a tree falls in the forest thing. If you're close to a deal without the high-powered, expensive superstar agent, are you actually close to a deal? My answer is no. The agent was always going to be involved in this. And just because two parties involved think they're close doesn't mean everyone thinks they're close. That was the main refrain I had when we had first thought about this all the time ago. Now, you can still pick and get in on the Micah decision pool. You pick the date that Micah signs or straight, whatever the final decision is. You go to chatsports.com/Micah to see all the entries. Venmo me at WhatGoingDowney, $5 to enter, and we will do a 50-50 split the pot for the winner. Now, as I've said before, I do think this gets done. It is a matter of when, not if for me. And, by the way, Adam Schefter feels very similar as part of his conversation with 105 through the fan. Schefter said, I would say that eventually both sides will figure out that deal and it gets done. That'd be my guess. There's so much money involved. Dallas is going to want to keep him. He's going to want to stay. When you're talking about $40+ million a year or whatever the number ends up being, why are you on the field until that deal gets done? To me, the fair way to get that deal done because the stakes are just too great not to. There's a key moment coming up here between these two sides, and it comes in a mere couple of days. Off-season workouts, the program for that, start on Monday. The Cowboys, in really no uncertain terms, have made it clear they want Micah Parsons there. It's kind of their challenge to him right now is to show up. But without a deal, will he? Will he show up? Micah says the Cowboys are almost like kind of daring Micah and kind of playing some chicken here. Like they're like, you say you want to be a leader. We want you to be a leader. You got to show up for this stuff. And Micah's camp is going to be like, why would I be there without a deal? Notice how that wasn't an issue with CeeDee Lamb, but now it kind of is. It's almost like it's just leverage games from all parties involved. So what do you think ends up happening here? Will Micah Parsons show up for off-season workouts? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments of today's video. Now, I want to tie in kind of one of the bigger NFL stories here. TJ Watt, the Steelers superstar pass rusher who, thanks Taco, could have been a Cowboy, I guess, had a cryptic Instagram post that actually could impact the Cowboys. This was TJ Watt yesterday on Instagram. First off, he's gone full wide receiver doing cryptic posts on social media. And here's what Ian Rappaport said on the situation. Generally, when a player makes a social media post that forces us to talk about it on TV like we're doing right now, it is because contract negotiations are not going as well as anybody had hoped. I think we can safely say that the contract talks between TJ Watt and the Steelers are not off to a rip-roaring start. Doesn't mean that they won't get there. They've gotten there before. That's the issue, I think, that is present. The Steelers have a problem oftentimes not guaranteeing big money into year two of a contract. At this point, with the way the players are getting paid, you have to do it. That is where you are at. Both Micah Parsons and TJ Watt are in line to be the highest paid edge. And this is how it matters to the Cowboys. So let's be real. I know they're top 10 in the odds. Cowboys aren't trading for TJ Watt. It's not happening. But they should want to beat Pittsburgh or a new team to the punch on paying their superstar player. Because I would not be shocked if TJ Watt gets more than what Myles Garrett got. They're not that dissimilar in age. Both guys are among the best passers in the NFL. Micah's going to get Jamar Chase plus money. Both those guys have a legitimate argument to being the highest paid non-QB in both average per year and in guaranteed money. I think the guaranteed money might be the sticking point more so for the Steelers and TJ Watt than anything else. And if they were to trade him somehow, well, that comes with a new contract. These players are all due for new deals. Micah Parsons, TJ Watt, Aiden Hutchinson might not get the same level, but I think he'd be in the ballpark there. Hendrickson probably does not, but he's probably only a few $1 million behind. if you're the Cowboys, you should want to pay Micah Parsons first. Will they? I mean, history says otherwise. Who gets paid first? TJ for TJ Watt, MP for Micah Parsons. Get those predictions in for me in the comments of today's show. Now, the Trey Lance actual contract has been revealed. It is not the 1 year up to $6 million deal that had been reported. It's 1 year, $2 million. That will not, barring him having to play a lot this upcoming season, qualify Trey Lance for a comp pick unless he hits a bunch of incentives and plays a lot, which seems very unlikely. Which leaves the Cowboys in the same spot comp pick-wise. They would like another notable signing or two. And that would almost assuredly free up an additional comp pick that they get. Right now, they've got a couple guys, Solomon Thomas, Javonte Williams, who are barely counting in the comp pick formula. That might not stay the case. There could be roster moves. There could be playing time, stuff that would eventually have that not count. But they're on the bubble of some of their cheapest signings being the last comp picks that are eligible. So that is worth watching, not just now, but throughout the offseason and really into the 2025 season as well. It could ebb and flow throughout the season based on playing time.